Hello, boys and girls and Cougar parents. Tonight we're going to look at comparing and ordering numbers. If you just think about that quickly, you might think that's pretty elementary, but when you consider that these numbers, some are integers, some are fractions, some are decimals, some may be percents, and some might even be square roots, all of a sudden it becomes a little more challenging. So let's take a look at our homework assignment, get it out, and we'll work through some problems together. Shall we? Boys and girls, let's get out our homework assignment, comparing and ordering real numbers. When we look at number 1, it says write the numbers in ascending order. The first thing we need to do is we need to take a look at these numbers, figure out which one has the lowest value and which one has the greatest value and all the values in between. We see we have a 0, which is nothing. We have only one negative number, which is less than 0, no matter what it is. So we know that this is the lowest number. We only have one negative. So we could say that -2 is the lowest. And I know that 0 would come next. How do I know that? Because these other two numbers are positive numbers. That means it's somewhere greater than 0. Let's take a look at -5 first. -5, sorry, I meant the square root of 5. The square root of 5 is somewhere between the square root of 4, which is 2, and the square root of 9, which is 3. So the square root of 5 is somewhere between 2 and 3. It's greater than 2 but less than 3. And I can say it's going to be closer to 2 because when I look at the square root of 4 and the square root of 5, they're only 1 apart, whereas the square root of 5 and the square root of 9, they're 4 apart. Okay, so I know it's going to be 2 point something, or 2 and a fraction of something. So I take the difference between my first two square roots, 5 minus 4, and then I take the difference and divide it by the difference of my next two square roots, 9 minus 5, and this is going to be 1/4. And I know that 1/4 will turn into the decimal when I divide through 1 divided by 4. I'm going to get 25 hundredths. And if I add that to my whole number, my final answer will be approximately 2 and 25 hundredths. So that's the square root of 5. And then over here I can do 13 fourths, which is really 13 divided by 4. And 4 goes into 13 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. I have 1 as my remainder. I bring down a 0. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. I subtract, I get 2. I bring another 0 down, and 4 goes into 25 times, so my answer is 3 and 25 hundredths. So the square root of 5 is 2 and 25 hundredths. That would come next. And then this 13 fourteenths would be my greatest. And there you have it from least to greatest. Okay, boys and girls, let's take a look at number 4. Now, number 4 is our next type of problem. It's similar to the first 3, but actually they make it a little easier for us. It says, which list shows the numbers in increasing order? So we can use process of elimination to get rid of a lot of these. First of all, let's look at the option A. Here I have a -5/10, then I have a positive 1.5, and then I have a -2. Now, this is just horrible, so A can't be true. Let me get the right tool here. Okay, so A is definitely wrong. Okay, because here they have a negative, a positive, negative. No, we're going up and down. Let's look at B here. Now B have got a -0.5, a -2. Okay, well, right there I can stop. Okay, a -0.5 is greater than -2. Okay, -2 is, if I had a number line here, and here is 0, going that way and that way. Okay, my -1/2 would be somewhere around there, and my -2 would be all the way over here. Okay, it's further away from 0, so wrong. Okay, that's not in in increasing order. And let's take a look at D. I can throw D out too, because here I have positive numbers that come before negative numbers. And sure enough, let's take a look at C here. I have -2. That's less than negative 75 hundredths, which that is less than or further away from 0 than a -1/2. And then I have 1.5, which now I'm finding to the right of 0. And I know that the square root of 7 would have to be somewhere between the square root of 4 and the square root of 9, which is somewhere between 2 and 3. So C is our winner. Let's look at number 5. Now number 5 looks fun. Graph the numbers -2/10, +7/10, -1, the square root of 2, and -4 on the number line. Okay, well, let's start out with -2/10. Well, I know first of all, it's a negative number, so it's somewhere here on the left side of our 0, and 2/10 is somewhere between 0 and 1, but it's going to be closer to 0 than 1, so I'd put it right. Oh, at the wrong selector again. Okay, so -2/10 would be somewhere right around there. Okay, so it'd be right there on the number line. Okay, and then my next number is 7/10. Now 7/10, it's positive, so I'm to the right, and 7/10 is closer to, it's between 0 and 1. It's greater than 0 but less than 1, but it's pretty close to 1, so it would be right about there on the number line. Okay, 7/10. And then my next number is a -1. Oh, that life couldn't be any easier. It's actually labeled there. It's right there. I'm not even going to draw a line because we got it right there, -1. And then the square root of 2. Okay, again, we're going to have to do some estimating here. The square root of -2 is somewhere between the square root of 1, which is 1, and the square root of 4, which is 2. So it's somewhere between 1 and 2, and I'd have to say it's closer to the square root of 1 than it is 4, because 1 is closer to 2 than 2 is to 4. So it'd be a little closer to 1. You know what? And I can kind of stop there with that because I know it's going to be between 1 and 2, closer to 1. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, and that is going to be the square root of 2. And the last one, -4, made it nice and easy. It's right there. It's labeled for us. Oh goody, the last part of the second side of our homework assignment is word problems. We have word problems, lovely word problems. It says solve each problem, remember to label your answers. Okay, let's read problem 1. It says the Kerwoods went out to eat at Chili's. If their bill was $58.65 and they gave their server a 15% tip, how much did they pay altogether? Okay, well, first of all, we have, this is a tax or a tip problem, and we know that the total price will always be, you have to take the cost of the bill, we take whatever our bill is, plus the tip, that will give us our total. So there's a couple steps involved here, but it's all pretty simple. The other thing too that we need to identify is 15%. We can't multiply by percents. And remember, percent means out of 100, or simply something over 100. So 15% really is 15 out of 100. And if you read this correctly, it's 1500ths, which is also a decimal, which makes life easier when we're multiplying. Okay, so I know that I have a 15% tip. That means 15% of my bill. And when you say of something, any percentage of something, or fraction of something, or decimal of something, of indicates that we're going to have to multiply. So I need to take my bill, which is $58.65, and multiply it by 1500ths. Okay, which 1500 is 15%. 15% of this bill is what my tip is going to be. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 6 is 30, plus the 2 is 32. Carry the 3. 5 times 8 is 40, plus the 3 is 43. Carry the 4. 5 times 5 is 25, plus the 4 is 29. Okay, put a 0 here as a placeholder. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 5 is 5. Add it up. 5 and 0 is 5. 2 and 5 is 7. 3 and 6 is 9. 9 and 8 is 17. Carry the 1. 1 and 2 is 3. Plus 5 is 8. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places here. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places over. So my tip is going to be $8, and well, 79 cents, but this would cause me to, I take a look at the 7 here in the thousandths column, that would round this 9 up, and we'd have 80 cents. Okay, so I have to round it to 80. Okay, and if you put 79 and you're off 1 cent, that's fine. Okay, so this is my tip. I'm going to give a tip of $8.80, or if you didn't round up, you're going to get $8.79. If you're a penny off, I'd give you credit for that. But we have to add that to the bill. The bill was $58.65. That's the cost of the bill. And my grand total is, when I add these two up, the bill and the tip, 5 and 0 is 5, 6 and 8 is 14, carry the 1. 8 and 8, 16, plus 1 is 17, carry the 1. So my total bill is going to be $67.45. Ouch, at least for me. I'll see you tomorrow in school. Well, as always, boys and girls, I hope that was helpful. And if there were any problems that you had difficulties with that I did not go over tonight, make sure that you bring those problems and questions tomorrow in class. Always bring your questions. It's my job to teach, and it's your job to ask questions and learn. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.